Hello everybody, my name's Chris Wood and I'm the author of Famous Last Words, which is a new book to be released by Pen and Sword Books tomorrow on Friday the 30th of April. I'm very excited about it, obviously, if a little apprehensive as well. But what I would like to do was to just to give you guys a little bit of an overview, if you like, a brief idea of the types of cases you would read within the book if you choose to read it. I'm often asked, did I find some of the cases more difficult to write than others? Yes, probably did. Some that spring to mind initially, I think, would be one down in Kingsdown, which is a little village in Wiltshire, or a young man named Frank Franklin. He committed murder. He killed a young girl in the village a year or so previously to him taking his own life. Now, Mr. Franklin, he killed this young girl. The police had got nowhere with the investigation. It had gone cold. They had no idea who'd done it. Things got too much for him, the burden of guilt and responsibility. So one night he wrote down a suicide note addressed to his mum, wandered down to the train tracks on the local train station and lay his head down on the tracks and was killed. So next morning his body's found, and on his person you've got the this note which he'd written to his mother, apologising for the fact that he'd done what he'd done, A, to the little girl, and B, that he'd had to take his own life as well. So it was quite a difficult one. I think also, in a similar vein, we've got a deathbed confession of an old lady who's 82 years old. Now she's got a family around her on her bed. Everybody, she knows she's dying. Her family are aware as well, and she confessed to the murder of a chap some 65 years previously. Quite a bizarre thing, if you could imagine that happening. This little old granny, who you've sort of trusted and would think was wonderful and think was your world, you suddenly realise she's a murderer. There are some bizarrely humorous cases in the book as well. There's an example of a gentleman down in London who decided to provide a running commentary of his own death, which he was committing by putting his head in the oven. It was through gas poisoning, and he would every so often just keep nipping away to make a few jokes about his death, which was very, very strange, and then nip back to the oven and inhale more gas. And this went on obviously until he passed away and died. So quite an interesting case. There's the story of a gentleman named William Watts as well, down in one of the workhouses in the East End of London. Now, he was just basically at the end of his tether. He was sick of all the rules and regulations he had to abide by, wanted out of the workhouse. So one breakfast one morning, he just stands up and just shouts, "I wish I was dead. I wish I was out of this." And as luck would have it, he collapses and he died. So it was quite an ironically grim thing, but yeah, fate, it's a strange thing, isn't it? And also the case I should mention, which it was quite enjoyable to write about, was a case of a lady named Helen Blackwood and Hans McFarlane. Now, these two were a murdering couple in Scotland, in Glasgow, in the New Vennel area of Glasgow. Now, they killed a guy together, and they were convicted of the murder and were on the gallows waiting their fate of execution. As they stood there on the gallows, just about to be dropped, McFarlane proposes to Helen Blackwood just before they go. She, "Yep, I'll do that. Happy to be married." And there they were. They were announced man and wife very, very quickly before dropping to their deaths. So, yeah, grim, very different. But there's a lot of cases like this within the book. It'd be great if you'd like to have a read of it. Hopefully you'll find it as interesting as I found it to write as well. So thank you all, everybody. Thanks for your time.